What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. Unfortunately, today is a no TikTok day, but we're here in full effect nonetheless. Welcome, happy Friday. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. No TikTok today. I thank each and every one of you for being here, for being with me. I understand that you didn't have to be here. And with that being said, the topic today is about prayer. Today we're talking about prayer and what it really is, how to pray, what prayer is not, how you should pray. So, with that being said, I think I'm just gonna get started into the topic. Like, have you guys heard of the what's that called? But Elon Musk. Like that is kind of interesting. It's really interesting what's happening with Elon Musk and his Tesla factories. A lot of people are, you know, well, a lot of people are upset with Elon Musk by, I guess, for what he's doing in the United States government and all this crazy stuff. And a lot of people are actually happy about what he's doing in the United States government. And regardless of how you feel, destroying the property, destroying his property where people have jobs, people need to be able to, like feed their families, but then people are just burning the cars and burning the whole dealership down. I don't think that it's too it's appropriate, you know? And I don't know. But what is truly happening is change is never fun. Change is never fun. And what is required for change is pain. That's just the truth. People think that you can change without pain, but you really can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. And the more you think that you don't need pain in order to change, the more delusional that you will stay. But do I agree with burning down the like his car dealerships? No, I don't. I don't agree with that, and you shouldn't agree either. He his car dealerships are actually supporting families. His people who work there have to earn money, but if you burn down the dealerships, you're not really hurting Elon Musk. I promise you, his money is going to be just fine. Far too often, people think if I hit him where the money is, then I'll teach him a lesson, and it's like you're really just destroying families. Like, don't do that. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. Today is only a day of YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. There's no TikTok today. TikTok, I had to get it reapproved for live access, and it's unexpected. It's kind of irritating because that's my biggest platform, and I enjoy going live and letting everybody see, but it is what it is. Okay. Today today we are talking about prayer. Today's topic is about prayer and how to truly pray, how to go about prayer, what it is not, how much you should pray, where you should pray. But first and foremost, people, especially those who were raised in the church, they were taught that prayer is something that you need to, well, you weren't really taught. I wasn't taught prayer. So I'm assuming many people were like this as well. People weren't really taught prayer. So what ends up happening is you kind of learn with secondhand smoke. Like you learn how to pray from social media, from the TV, from like just attending church. But what ends up really happening is prayer. So anything that you want to learn in life, all you got to do is look up the definition. You have to look up the definition, figure out what these words mean, and then you will discover a process. I promise you. Okay? I promise you. And how do you know the word if you don't know the word? Okay? The word prayer, it means to beg. Okay? Prayer, it means to beg. And when you are full of prayer, that means you are the one that is begging God. I'm here to tell you, prayer is not a conversation. Many people assume when I pray, I need to listen. Well, you don't really need to listen, because when God is talking to you, you hear it. You absolutely are able to detect what God is saying. And the thing about this is, what God are you praying to? That's the question. What God are you actually praying to? And the God that you pray to quite often will provide something to you. Now, is that something, a thing that you that will be beneficial for you? Is that something that you are going to absolutely thrive off of? To be determined, I guess. But the reality is, prayer is a process. Okay? It's a process that you do not leave. Okay? Prayer is a process that you do not leave. People think that you have to pray on your knees right before you eat dinner, right before you are going to bed or waking up or getting in the shower. There's no specific time that prayer is activated. Okay, prayer is not really ever activated at a specific time. So I want to tell you that prayer is a thing that is constant. Why? Because God is omnipresent. God is always around. He's everywhere at the same time. And it doesn't have to make sense to you. It's just how God is. But when you pray, okay, I want to let you know that there's multiple levels of prayer. There are so many levels of prayer. And that's exactly why I wrote an entire chapter on prayer. And in my ebook, A Piece Called Love, prayer, prayer itself, okay, I want to let you know there are 7 levels of prayer. Okay, 7 levels of prayer. You're going to be shocked at the different levels, number one, and I'm going to tell them to you in just a bit. But prayer, okay, prayer. Wait, can you guys hear me? Uh, Maybe you can't hear me. This is the pain of going live. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, very good. All right, very good. So, prayer, there are 7 levels of prayer, and the levels of prayer, they always indicate which God you are speaking to. Okay, remember the word prayer, it means to beg, and God's not begging you for anything. That's just the truth. We somehow think that we have the right to tell God how how to be God, and that never really goes well. That never really ends up well. So when you are in prayer, okay, when you are in prayer, when you are understanding the level of prayer, then you could easily realize the desire that's happening in your environment. And the word desire, it means from the Father. So you pray, okay, you pray to God, okay, you beg God for things, you ask earnestly, because that's also what prayer means. And when you are in prayer, quite often you will receive things, but that's not called prayer. That's called intuition. And when God talks to you, it's called intuition. That's exactly the truth. Okay, that is exactly the truth. And intuition literally means spiritual perception of not of suffering. It just means spiritual perception, okay? So spiritual perception, okay? Intuition is when God is talking to you. It's also when the devil is talking to you. So intuition is when you are receiving things in spirit. Intuition. We call that our gut feeling, but it's not called a gut feeling. This is spiritual communication. And when God provides for us, that's not called intuition. When He's providing a house, when He's providing laughter, when He's providing lessons in life, when He's providing the joys of life, when He's providing the angels, when He's providing the sunrise, when He's providing your clothes, your family, this and that. Quite often, we just think that it's something that we did, that it's because of us, that it's our own doing. No, that's called desire. And the word desire means from the Father. And when you receive things, right, all of your surrounding, everything that's around you, that's called desire from the Father. It's a spiritual snapshot of your environment. So, what God are you praying to? Okay, how are you praying? And remember, prayer is not intentional. It's always it's a consistent thing, whether you know it or don't know it. Prayer is a consistent thing. Okay, prayer is it's consistency. It requires you to be consistent. Not only requires like I mean it's not like it's gonna break if you aren't praying. Because of the fact that God is omnipresent, which means everywhere at the same time, your life is always being watched. Your life is always under scrutiny. You're always being like measured. Okay, is Kyle doing the right thing, or is he not doing the right thing? Okay, this is like he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. I thought that was funny, but it's still true. It's still very true. Okay, so I want to just go over the different types of prayer that I've noticed, and I've written the chapter on it. There are 7 types of prayer. So this is how we speak to the spirit world. Prayer. It's called prayer. But from the bottom level to the top, so the lowest level is called ignorance. Okay, ignorance. The next level is fear oriented. The next level is greed. The 4th level is logic and clever oriented. The 5th level is intelligence oriented. The 6th is meditation. And the 7th is bliss, joy, and celebration. Okay, so the higher you get, the closer to God that you get. But coincidentally, the higher you go in the process of prayer, the less, okay, the less functional you get in society. When you are dancing with God in joy, you're not really useful to your work. You're not really useful to the nature of like business. That's just the truth. So like for let me just talk about one type of prayer. Okay, so there's the ignorance. Okay, so ignorance is the lowest form of prayer. The lowest form of prayer. So everything is wrong except for you. This is the ignorant type of prayer. And remember, prayer is not always intentional. Actually, 99% of prayer happens when you are just living your regular life. Because God's always watching you, He's watching how you are moving. If you're drinking, if you're eating healthy, if you're eating poorly, if you're being kind or being evil, like if you're full of sloth, if you're procrastinating, like all of this is a type of prayer. Okay, all of this is a type of prayer, and so the bottom level, the ignorant type, is everything and everyone is wrong except me. And this is where quite a few people are. This is key. Okay, you should understand this very closely, because prayer is not the requirement for prayer means that you just need to be alive. It doesn't mean that you need to be conscious or aware of what you are doing. Everything that has life prays. A rock prays. It just does not pray with human language. A rock, since it is not a creator, it is a creation. It cannot pray, or it cannot communicate, so it has to express. Rocks express, so they pray through expression, not communication. Humans have the ability to communicate because we are a creator. And this is something I think you need to really, really understand, really. So whatever type of prayer that you're on, it it tells God or the devil how to respond and how to provide for you. Okay? If you think that going out to the bar all the time and not studying for your purpose in life is going to somehow be pleasing to God, well, you're wrong. I mean, God's trying to build his kingdom. God's building his kingdom. And if you are a chosen one, like you have a part to play in that. That's why heavy is the head that wears the crown. If you like for real, if you think that God does not understand where you are going, what you are thinking, what you're doing behind closed doors, you're sadly mistaken. Okay, but prayer actually is it's kind of like a slot. It's kind of like a slot or a key of entry to which God that you are communicating with in spirit. Okay, so you don't need to pray on your knees before you go into the you know before you go to war if you're in the military. Or any of that. So like a good snapshot of what prayer actually is called karma. Okay, that's like that I think is an accurate depiction of what prayer is. Called karma. Like whatever you do now will then produce it or a thing in the future. That's called karma. So if you do bad things now, like if you are an alcoholic, more than likely you are praying to the demon of Belphegor, and that demon is sloth. Sloth rules all addictions. He rules all addictions. This demon rules all addictions. Any type of addiction that you have, okay? He just wants to make you comfortable. This is what sloth does, okay? This is what Belphegor does. And any addiction, and I mean it, any addiction, if you have an addiction to go to the gym, well, sloth, the demon of sloth, is tricking your mind into thinking that the gym is the only way you can reach heaven or reach nirvana or reach bliss or reach relaxation. So then you ignore God. And this is exactly why, okay, this is exactly why prayer is so important. Okay? Prayer is super important. And in a more human sense, prayer is about like it's about mindset. Okay, it's about where your mindset is at. What type of mindset do you have? Do you have a poverty type of mindset? Meaning Do you only see the bad things in your life? Do you only see how everything and everyone is destroying you and your progress? How everyone else is just pure evil? Okay, that's a poverty mindset. And poor people, people that have the poverty mindset, oftentimes are also broke. They also don't have a lot of money. And that because you don't have a lot of money, okay? And you have a poverty mindset, it's a good indication that you are praying to the demon of greed called mammon. Okay. Fun fact: greed, the demon of greed, actually makes people poor. This demon actually makes people broke, like zero money or low money or check to check. Greed, the demon of greed, does not make you rich. A rich person, I've never seen a rich person greedy. I have seen a rich person that is gluttonous. Gluttony and greedy are two different things. Gluttony is ruled by a demon called Beelzebub. And this demon is it gets you to be tricked by thinking more stuff, more money will make everything better instead of flowing towards God. You turn you turn to worship things instead of God. This is gluttony. This is the demon of glutton. Okay? And if you do have a lot of money and you're not employing people, meaning you're not taking care of multiple families, you're not paying a salary or an hourly wage to people, it more than likely you are gluttonous, because now you think all of that money is only for you. You're supposed to be, once God blesses you, you then are supposed to be a blessing. That's how it goes. That's how currency works. Currency is about flow, not about hoarding. But I understand, even like if you have billions and millions of dollars, I'm not saying just get rid of your money. That's foolish as well. That's foolish. You're not being good stewards of your blessing. So what you have in your life is a reflection of which God you are praying to. And what they provide to you is called desire. Desire, again, for the people just coming on to YouTube, to TikTok, or not TikTok, Instagram or Facebook. Okay, remember, desire means from the Father. Desire is a spiritual thing. It's not a worldly thing. Desire does not mean to want. It means from the Father. It's a compound word from Latin. Okay, it's a Latin compound word. Two words smashed together. From the Father. Okay, that's what it means. But it's a spiritual snapshot of where you are at in life, and just look at your real life. I mean, and when you ask people, they always want to put on the perfect picture of themselves. Okay, they always want to put the perfect picture of themselves, and I'm here to tell you that people who put the perfect picture of themselves, like, oh yeah, I'm trying really hard, and I'm doing this with my life, and I just need to heal. Like, even saying that, they're trying to say that, like, paint a picture that I'm doing the best I can. They're trying to paint the best picture. This is an indication that you are praying to, without even knowing it, the demon of Leviathan. Okay, the demon of pride. Okay, pride. And here's a secret about pride that I don't think you guys know yet. Okay, pride and proud are the same thing. When you are proud of yourself, you then, okay, you then are uh, you are possessed with pride. Okay, the word proud, it means have committed the sin of pride. That's the reason why proud is spelt that way. You know, now you can feel accomplished because you just accomplished something. Let's say you earned your high school diploma, or you earned your college degree. Excuse me. Excuse me. What that means is you will have a sensation of accomplishment in your body. Okay? You will have a sensation of accomplishment in your body. This is not being proud. Okay? When you say, "Oh, I'm just so proud of you, Kyle," you're cursing me with the demon of Leviathan. When you say, "I am proud," you are now cursing yourself with the demon of Leviathan. And it doesn't matter how you feel about it. Okay? Design trumps feeling. Design trumps feeling. When things have design, it doesn't matter how you feel about them. Their design will always play out. Their design will always win. And that's exactly how it is. A lot of people don't see it that way. They say, "Oh, well, I feel." If you pick up a cup, and it's full of coffee. Okay, this cup is full of coffee, and you burn your hand on the coffee cup. It doesn't matter how you feel about getting burned, but it also won't change the fact that the coffee's hot and it needs to cool down. Whether you put it in the freezer, you put some ice cubes in it, or you just let it cool off in room temperature. Okay, it really does not matter. So I just want you guys to know that prayer does not need your consent to work. Prayer does not need your consent to work. It works consistently, and it's something that you should understand by now. Okay, number one. But number two, is there any way that you should pray directly? Is there a way that you should pray directly? Well, I always say you should pray with your mouth, not your mind. Okay? Pray with your mouth and not your mind. Why do you need to pray with your mouth and not your mind? Well, because your mind, if you have not learned to actually manage it, if it runs wild at times, if you can't stop thinking about this girl, how good looking she is, or this man, how good looking he is, quite oftentimes when you're talking to God, you then, okay, you then like will say the wrong thing in the conversation or when you're talking to God. Okay, like for example, just imagine you got in trouble at school, and you are 12 years old again. You got in trouble at school and you got suspended from school for 3 days. You go back home and you have to face your dad and your mom. And the fact that you have to face your dad and your mom scares you. You're so scared. You just don't want to get in trouble with them. Anybody else you can get in trouble with, but not your dad and not your mom. And what ends up happening is your mom kind of talks to you a little bit, but your dad is just so upset. So upset. He starts to yell and all this stuff. And you ask your dad for forgiveness. Dad, I'm so sorry for doing what I did. Please forgive me, Dad. I won't do it again. But Dad, he did deserve the reason why I hit him, it doesn't matter. He deserved it. He really got on my nerve. He spit on my face. And I know I ripped his clothes and I threw him in the dirt. But God, Dad, I'm just so sorry about that. So you see, if I was praying that in my mind, what would end up happening, or not my mind, if I'm telling my dad this, asking for his apology, but then kind of bragging and boasting how it felt good to beat this kid up. You see how there might be a conflict of interest if you're talking to God this way, if you're praying to God in your mind, and you don't have control over your mind. This is exactly why I say you guys need to pray out loud. Okay, out loud. Because when you pray out loud, you'll be able to catch where you guys start to veer off. Okay. You might be praying out loud, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. Forgive me of my sins, God. I'm sorry for getting suspended from school, God, but he definitely deserved it. I'll do it again. If he ever comes to me, he should know better. He should know who I really am. That I'm from Ohio or Florida or wherever I'm from, and God's gonna look at you like, I thought you were asking for my forgiveness, and now you want me to join with gossiping? Like, why on the earth would you ask me this? So all I'm saying, okay, all I'm saying right now is, when you are praying out loud to God, it needs to be out loud. Okay? You don't have to yell. Just talk. You can even whisper. But if you do it in your mind, quite often, you will say the wrong things to God and wonder why you feel like he's not answering your prayer. Well, as soon as you invite God to gossip with you about something else, you're now praying to a different God. Okay, because God cannot sin. And gossip is a sin. And I mean gossip in the best way, like in the most accurate way. Like, you're asking God for forgiveness, and then you turn around and ask about why Kyle's beard is gray, and you're like, it looks so silly. Why is his beard gray? But God, please, forgive me for, cursing at Kyle. You're not praying to the God you think you are. You have to say things appropriately. You have to. There's no way, ifs, ands, or buts. And this is one reason why fathers in the household are so important, because they get communication down appropriately. They are able to tell the people in the household, hey, you don't say this about me. Don't talk to your mom that way. When you talk to adults, you say this. When you talk to him, you say this is exactly why the father is so important in the house. They are God's representative. They are a representation of God. And if you have not had your father, God's there too. Again, he said, I'll be the father to the fatherless. That's simple. So when you pray, when you intentionally pray, it needs to be with your mouth open, meaning use your words, not just your thought. When you pray out loud, lots of good stuff happens. Lots of good stuff happens, okay? Whew. So, another type of prayer that I wrote about in my chapter, or in the chapter called prayer, in my ebook called A Peace Called Love, which is linked in the description on YouTube. But the greed prayer type is when the idea of a better place is haunting you. Okay, this is where you were taught that heaven can only be entered doing certain things. Well, that's true. But when you think that the grass is greener on the other side, like your house is not good enough. Your health is not good enough. Like if you're not dead, God still has plans for you. If you're not dead, God's not done with you yet. And especially if you have a spiritual gift. Your gift is yours. Okay? Your gift is yours. Okay? So the fact that you are moving in life like this, just know that every aspect of you, every aspect of who you are is always being watched. And the watching, okay, when God receives things from us, communication from us, it's called prayer. When we receive communication from God, it's called intuition. Now, where can you pray if you do it intentionally? Well, you can pray anywhere. If prayer is a consistent thing, okay, then you pray all the time. You literally pray all the time. Like that wasn't a command. You are praying all the time. It's just how life and existence is designed. This is how God designed us. We pray to God all the time. It depends on the level of prayer to which God you are praying to. Okay? Which God you are praying to. Excuse me. I wish TikTok was here, but TikTok is not here. All right, so I'll take some questions before I sign off. Does anybody have any questions on YouTube, on Instagram, or on Facebook? Oh, one last thing about prayer, okay? When when you are praying, it does not need to be formal. Why? Because God's already watching everything in your life. He knows when you are not doing the right thing. He knows when you are doing the right thing. He knows that you're not eating correctly. He knows that you're not being kind to people. He knows that you're gossiping. He knows that your health might be going wrong. He knows that you are hopeless. He knows everything about you. about me, about him or her. This like this is the reality of it. Okay, your talking formal to God oftentimes gets your brain to communicate ineffectively. You are inefficient at communicating when you think that you need to act in a formal manner. Stop that. Just talk like you're talking to your daddy. And if you don't know who your dad is, I get it. My dad was never there in my life. He was never there. So I had to learn how to talk to God because my dad didn't give me an example. And at this point, he never will be able to give me an example. Okay? And so, yeah, I wanted to tell you that. All right. Does anybody have any questions for me? Any questions for me? Somebody on Instagram said, when I talk to God and start to cry due to pain and suffering, does it make it more meaningful somehow? No. No, because God doesn't really care about emotions. Why? Because emotions are not real. Emotions are not even real. They're not real. They don't exist. Emotions are like the dark, like a dark room. Okay, and when you are in a room and the lights on, science can figure out what light is. A molecule, an electron, we can detect that. Okay, but darkness, when you turn off the light, even though we can detect it, we cannot measure it. Anything in reality, anything that is real, does not or cannot be measured. An emotion cannot be measured. You cannot take a scoop of happiness and put it underneath a microscope because emotions are not real. So God does not care about emotions. Okay? He cares about your actions and what you say. What you do and what you say. Not the emotions behind what you say. Okay? And when you are praying to God and you are starting to cry, oftentimes that is probably a demon or demons that are leaving your body. Okay? Just being in the same room as God can heal you for your entire life. Being in prayer to God and knowing that God is on the opposite end receiving your prayer. Of course, it's very predictable for you to cry. It's predictable. Of course you will cry. This is the Father that made everything. Let me get my hat right. There we are. Okay. So, also when you're praying to God, remember it's not a conversation, but the pain that you feel is the demons leaving you. They're fleeing. Okay? The word pain, okay? The word pain, it means the mental agony endured by Christ. Okay? Christ, the word Christ, it means the chosen one. The word Christ, it means the chosen one. So if you are a chosen one, You will experience pain. And to leave demons, okay, where are demons? Demons are not in high places. Demons are in hell, like the lowest of the place. So when demons are leaving, it's kind of like you climbing a mountain. Your legs burn. That's called pain. The mental agony endured by the chosen one. Okay? The mental agony endured by Christ. All right? But now it doesn't mean like I rarely pray or talk to God, and only do it when I'm in real distress. Okay, so how would you like it if you had a kid and they only came to you to ask for money? I'm only gonna communicate with you, dear mom or dear dad, when I need some money, when I'm about to go homeless, when I need your advice, instead of, hey mom, hey dad, I'm just calling to say that I love you. I don't need anything right now. I just want you to be, that you to know that you're loved by me. And I just want to spend some time with you. I don't want anything at all. This is the power of consistently, intentionally praying. Because remember, prayer is not an intentional thing. You are consistently praying, whether you know it or not. And that's the truth. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I'm sorry I was not able to be here on TikTok. If you're just coming in from TikTok and joining my YouTube platform, thank you. But unfortunately, TikTok, I need to reapply for the access, the live access. But thank you everyone for being here. Instagram, I see all 6 of you, 5 of you. YouTube, I see all 5 of you. Oh, there's a question from Instagram. So if I talk to God only when I'm in distress, does that mean I'm not a chosen one? If you have a spiritual gift, you're a chosen one. That's the truth. If you have a spiritual gift, you are a chosen one. Are you a healer? Are you an empath? Are you a teacher? Do you have charisma? Okay, these spiritual gifts. Discernment. So you should know if you have a spiritual gift, you are a chosen one. Period. Okay? All right. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. And please show up next week. I'll be here live and in effect. Hopefully my TikTok will be working. Be sure to jump over to my YouTube. And everybody who's listening in my YouTube, go into the description. I got a lot of free goodies for you. A lot of free goodies that you can download and use in your everyday life to center yourself with your spiritual gifts. A lot of the stuff I have is free. I do have a couple of ebooks I think that you should consider getting today. One is a piece called Love, and that is the one that I've written the chapter on prayer. Okay, if you're on Instagram, it's also linked in my bio. All of everything that I'm talking about now is linked in my bio. I am doing a free bi-weekly group call. Okay, it is about the introduction to spirituality. I'm doing 50 people per Zoom call. I'm letting you know right now, I only have a few more slots left. The next few bi-weekly meetings are already full. They're already full. So if you want to get in on those calls, you should definitely get in now. It's 100% free. Somebody on YouTube asked me, how often do I go live? I go live every single Friday around this time. Well, I start at an hour before now. Okay, an hour before now. And so charisma, okay, charisma, the word charisma means spiritual, the spiritual gift of leadership. So literally, charisma is a spiritual gift of leading people. This is why people who are charismatic, oftentimes you'll see them delivering speeches and stuff and all this good stuff, okay? All right, guys, I think I'm about to sign off. All right? If you didn't know, now you know.